This is going to be a good one. Well, they're all good ones, but some ideas in here I doubt you would have heard before, and it should all have an impact on how you present your face to the world in a manner which is more consistent with the face that you fundamentally would like to present to the world. So let's talk about testosterone. Let's talk about its effects on masculine facial development after puberty, but also during, because I really think some of the practical aspects in this particular video are going to have more of an effect, either good or bad, actually, I will say on that point, relative to whether or not you're in a very hormonal and reactive and responsive state, if you understand what I mean. But as you get older, as you get more mature, like myself, as I'm starting to get some gray hairs, you become a little bit more stable, and homeostasis is more the norm. So this is the question here. How did this little rake, a garden rake on the left-hand side, he's definitely vegan, isn't he? How did this, and pale, very pale as well, individual go from Britney Spears into the one that hit her? That's not right. That's not wrong. I don't know. So there's a real, first and foremost, you can tell it's the same person. Not only do we see a dramatic difference in terms of the physiology, the body composition of this individual, and the color of this individual, but also the facial features. Now, maybe you can make an argument his head is slightly turned up this way, so we're seeing the, let's say, the shortening or the widening. No, the head does look wider, does look a lot wider. Difference here. So what would be the difference here? Let's talk about the factors that possibly could be it. So first and foremost, elevated testosterone levels, which we'll talk about more exclusively in just a moment. But neck size, neck curls, and neck extent. Don't skip neck day. One really easy way, guys, to add neck exercises into your training is whenever I'm doing bench now, what I do is I get a 5 kilogram plate, right? And after I've done, let's say, I'm doing a lot of guillotine presses right now because I'm trying to build this shelf, this upper chest and shoulders. So I'm coming right down on my neck, trying to chop my head off. So after I do, and I'm going quite high reps, I'm doing like 15 repetitions in one set, okay? And a lot of time under tension, really feeling that stretch. So once I do a set of that, I rack the barbell, of course. I'm not a degenerate. And then I flip around the bench. So I just flip around, get a 5 plate, hold it with your fingers in this way so your hands can rest on your forehead. Get your head over the bench, right? And then do neck curls like this, right? What's good is you could stack another 5 plate on top and you could do a drop set. So you could do 10 kilograms, take a plate off, 5 kilogram, take the other plate off, and then just so you could do a drop set of neck extensions, and you'll build that very thick, wide neck that is so sought after. So that could be one reason. While doing mewing, doing neck curls and tighten the digrastic anterior belly muscle. Interesting. I'm gonna research that right now. The thing is, it sounded like bro science, but apparently it is not. So this is the diastic muscle he was in reference to. So I'd imagine if this is shortening and this is your hyoid bone right here. So imagine the concept is this is going to add to better facial structure, muscular structure in that regard. But this is his personal opinion. Okay, this is his personal opinion. Losing fat, beard shape. We'll talk about beard shape in a moment. Better hormones and balance in the body. Other people are saying camera lenses. I think there is certain utility in terms of the kinds of food you're eating and how that changes the composition of your skin. Or maybe this guy just maybe he had a bad breakup. Maybe he broke up with his ex-vegan girlfriend, got on the meat and moved to some Mediterranean country like Greece. I can imagine that happening. But let's talk about some of the variables that you can do to have your own Britney to her former ex change in your appearance. So let's talk about high free-base testosterone first and foremost. Now, I read this very interesting post from a non-binary person, apparently. of course. Does taking testosterone affect the shape of your face? Obviously, I know it's not going to alter your bone structure unless you take it when you're still growing, right? But does fat redistribution have a noticeable effect on your face? I'd love links to pictures and stuff if anybody has any, preferably with minimal facial hair, since that makes it harder to spot differences. For context, I'm currently worrying about whether or not I want to take testosterone. There are some changes I'd like and others I'm worried about. The appearance of my face is something I'd really like to be a bit different. So I guess I'm just looking for more information to help me decide. Now, this first comment kind of caught my eye. So yes, tea does redistribute fat from your face in most cases. People say that it makes your face more angular and sharp. I've always found it hard to put my finger on what's different with facial changes on tea. For example, I'm 6 months on tea, and I don't think my face has changed in the slightest, except for some facial hair and some slightly more masculine hairline. Other individuals saying that they look hugely different. Nose getting bigger, jaw getting squarer, thicker eyebrows, face changes pretty much. The main reason people on tea are usually read always as male. Okay, so the kind of takeaway, I think, the utility in this kind of knowledge is probably going to be more for individuals who are in puberty and are growing up, and this is where you really need to take advantage of this information that I'm throwing at you. I mean, God, if I had this information when I was 14, 15, 16, I would be jumping on everything to optimize my testosterone to the best of my abilities before, again, that maturity starts and you become less, let's say, responsive to testosterone in that way. Of course, we can talk about chewing. We can talk about the development of the masseter muscle here, which is also going to give you that kind of wider face shape and also some hollowness of the cheeks as the muscle starts to push and stretch the skin. So how can you begin to integrate and develop your masseter muscle? There are several methods that I believe are very, very valuable. The first is going to be mastic gum. Now I have some Chios from Greece premium mastic gum. This company actually sent me some mastic gum. If you would like me, I don't really, again, plug any affiliate links for that, but I have one in case people want a discount or anything like that. So all it is, mastic gum is just sap from a tree that is very, very hard to chew. It's like if you've ever chewed gum for a long, long time, that's how the texture feels. Kappa chewing is a really interesting one. So I haven't done this a lot. I do have this here on my desk, but the idea is that you buy a gum shield, right? And you mold it to your teeth, like I've done here, right? And you put it in and you just chew on the gum shield. So in a way, it's engaging more surface area in your mouth, in your teeth, because when you're chewing a gum, it's a very small surface area. Like if you're chewing mastic gum, it's like it's only here you're chewing. But when you've got a gum shield in, this is going to look absolutely ridiculous. Things I do for you guys, eh? I'm getting pressure like throughout the whole jaw. So it's not this tiny bit here, but I'm getting the whole surface area of my molars, my incisors, and the front of my teeth as well. And I think it can be a very easy thing. Again, it's got its own little traveling case you can take with you. I should probably experiment a little bit more with this, but if you want to have a bath, put your gum shield in, and you can have a shower, and you could be working and doing it. And I think it's a lot. I think it's even better than mastic gum because it's less. Let's say you don't have to spend as much energy. I know it sounds strange, but when you just have the gum shield in, it's just one singular biting motion. When you're chewing gum, you're chewing on the right side, and then you're moving it over, you're chewing on the left side, and you think you're chewing on the left side too much. So you're still semi kind of conscious in that way. But with the gum shield, you're just there and you're just literally, and then you can do different, repetitions. You can do isometrics. I think there's some utility in this, and I don't think there's going to be any risks involved as long as you mold your gum, correctly, and you're not fucking up your teeth. That's maybe the one thing I would worry about is pressure over time going to actually move your teeth, because in some way you could make the argument that they act as retainers, but then again, retainers are pushing on the inside and outside of your teeth, and the gum shield isn't. The only pressure you're placing is upwards through the palate and downwards into the mandible. Chisels, I think I had some chisels, but I think I threw them away because I didn't like them. But basically, there were these little plastic. Can we talk about plastic? Plastic squidgies that you put in your mouth and you chew. I didn't really like them that much. Thumb pulling as well. I think thumb pulling, I did a big video on thumb pulling a while ago, and I definitely think there's utility in expanding the palate for these reasons. The reason I have this mold and I have these very questionable grills actually was from a gift from one of you actually that sent me a free mold because they really enjoyed my content. So I thought, why not ball out? But the idea with thumb pulling is that if you look at my mold here, this is the inside of my upper palate, is that you're placing your thumbs on the inside and then you're pulling the palate apart that way. And it creates the same effect as a particular orthodontic piece of equipment that the name is escaping me right now. It might be MSE. I think it's MSE, which is essentially a palate expander. And you see people go through crazy transformations and growth in their face by doing that. And this is a less invasive way than having a piece of equipment tied to the top of your roof and screws moving laterally outside. So thumb pulling as well, I think, could be of utility, especially if, again, you're in more the pubescent stage of your life. Now, I do want to talk about facial hair, actually, because this individual, I think, has a little bit more. And I think the additions of facial hair are... Actually, before I go into facial hair, there's some crazy transformations here. Don't be this individual. I saw this the other day and I thought it would include it, right? So this guy is getting jaw implants. And he's not the only one. I mean, that looks very, very unnatural. I mean, how insecure do you have to be, really? The problem is with these kind of... Now some people... I'm going to take the straw man argument here and say, look, these guys look better. I think they do look better afterwards. But once you've done something like that, when does it stop? Right? Once you fix that problem, when does it stop? You start going, oh, I'm receding a bit. I'm going to get a hair transplant. And you go, oh, I don't like my nose, and you go get a rhinoplasty. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. You can be obsessed with the stuff, and it never ends. And I don't know about the ramifications of what's actually being put in their jaws. I don't know if it dissolves, if it's toxic, if it will fuck up other areas of your life. I don't know if anybody's had this procedure done. No, or a little bit of judgment, but not majorly. Let us know. I think, there's a using case for everything, guys. And I think for extreme examples, I mean, I don't think these men by any stretch of the imagination need it at all. Like, he's not a horror, like, these aren't unattractive men at all. They're just a little bit insecure, I think. And there's much more things you can do before then, such as maximizing the mewing and maximizing the facial hair. So look at this guy. This guy is 34, by the way, 34 to 40. So in reference to what you can do after puberty, this individual is paving the way. So this is the front and side profile here. Then we have this difference. And that already, I mean, you can maybe argue camera angles here, but there's significant definition on the masseter. The beard is helping a lot here with a more forward protrusion from the chin. And then the beard and the mewing together I mean, that's like, if you just hold that picture in your mind's eye and then you go back, that one, that's a glow up. That's a big glow up. So facial hair should not be understated at all. Don't be this. Don't be this. It sounds like a good idea. Like when you, if you've had a beard for a long time, you get that temptation. Oh, I wonder what it would look like without it. It's generally never a good idea. Don't go clean shaven, at least. I mean, you can go stubble, fine, but clean shaven, at least it grows back. We've all been there. Now, I didn't want to just talk about beard shaping because I think it's redundant, because I think most men do this fairly well. I did want to talk about Minoxidil. Now, I got introduced to Minoxidil probably about 2 years ago, and I stumbled on Minox beards. I'm going to show you some Minox beards on Reddit, and I had no idea what it was. So Minoxidil is a substance by which you can put it on your... So the primary reason for using Minoxidil is for hair loss, right? But some guys got thinking, if this works great for the head on my hair, why don't I use it on the hair on my face? So they tried it out. Some people even put it on their eyebrows as well and noticed that they are thickening. Now, here's the thing. When I tried it, because, again, my beard isn't... it's a lot better than what it was, and I think that's a consequence of SR and my testosterone levels going up after the things that I've mentioned, loads of things that I've mentioned before in previous videos. But I wanted to try and get myself a little bit thicker. I tried it for 2 days and I got scared off it because I started getting major heart palpitations almost immediately after applying. Now, I did some research on this, and there is a group of people who just can't tolerate it, right? They get heart palpitations, they get, sweaty, they get anxious, and I would not advise you use Minoxidil if you have any kind of cardiac, heart, or vascular issue. I think you can give it a go. I certainly, again, I tried it the first day, and I remember I was like, oh, maybe this is just a one-off. I tried it the second day and it was a little bit worse, and I was like, no, I can't be doing this to her, so I threw it away. You can be a hyper responder to Minoxidil because it doesn't work for everybody. Like this individual in the middle here, right? 1 month to 3 years post Minoxidil. So you got month 1 here, month 2, 2 years off Minoxidil after 2 years of daily use, and 3 years off Minoxidil. So, I mean, look at the difference in terms of the facade of, the weak, let's say, jaw and chin he's covering up behind the beard. I mean, there's a reason they say, beards are like makeup, or having a haircut is like makeup. Another gentleman here saying never stop. Hyper responder, again, very, very patchy. This is how my facial hair used to look when I was like 20. But guys really, really filled in with the use. And I know, again, I'm so angry that this stuff doesn't work for me, because I reckon I could get a kind of Kratos-like beard if I tried the Minoxidil. 17 months for this individual. Big difference. You can see even the spots that didn't show any signs of growth have filled in. So you're talking about, and the glow up here for these guys is, 1 or 2 points, I would say, on, let's say, a 10 out of 10 rating. So I think Minoxidil is certainly something that you can consider in combination with something like derma rolling, which increases blood flow to that area. I will say, though, don't be this individual here. Day 1, day 4, it doesn't work. I've been on the juice for 4 days, but I still look the same. From my understanding and what I've read in this community, and you can follow this community if you're interested in this stuff, Minox beards, is it takes minimum 6 months to a year. Like, you have to be on it every single day. Like, look, these aren't small numbers here. 17 months. 2 months in. Again, this guy's a hyper responder. This is like the best results you can expect to get here. 2 months off, 3 years. So, if you're going to entertain this, do it for the full slog. Granted, again, you don't have any heart problems. That's what I would guarantee here. So guys, this is, I suppose, for me, a kind of mini course in what you can do to maximize your facial development through chewing for masseter development, high freebase testosterone. I've got so many videos on that you can check out yourself. And beard shaping, but also there is a big use for minoxidil here. Maybe I'll try it again. The heart palpitations freak me. The reason it freaked me out so much is how quickly it happened after I applied it. Right, so it's kind of it came like a foam, and I just literally started to brush it in. I started to brush in here, and literally probably about a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds after I was putting it in, like really noticeable. And yeah, it's again for me. Do I think I'll have a heart attack? Probably not. Did it scare me? Yeah, I'm not scared to admit that, and I would never tell you guys to try it if you were equally worried. But hey, it's working for other people really, really well. So I think it's something that you should potentially entertain. These aren't theories, they're facts. Speak soon.